الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا مولانا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وأصحابه وبارك وسلم. Respected Raza, respected Hafiz respected elders, fathers, brothers, contemporary youth and children. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First and foremost, we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in that Allah Azza wa Jal has afforded every one of us the opportunity of spending these blessed Mubarak nights of Muharram under the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the house of Allah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our attendance in His most merciful, most compassionate Lord. We make dua for those who are ill. I was told that our Maulana Muhammad Rafiq Shah suffered a heart attack last night or yesterday, and my uncle Manzoor Shaik Imam also suffered a massive heart attack 2 days ago. He's also scheduled for quadruple bypass, I think on Saturday. And we also know that our Sheikh Hashim Hafidhullah is also not too well. We make dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant them all shifa wa afiyah. We make dua for our marhumeen that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless them with a lofty station in Jannah. We make dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our attendance. We make dua that this mahfil is a source of blessing and light for us in this world, in our graves and the akhirah. We make dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give every one of us the tawfiq to be true and sincere ambassadors of this beautiful kalima, La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Indeed, this particular gathering, I think it's a very special gathering. And you know, the very important number in our deen is 7. You go for Umrah, and if you go around the Kaaba, you need to go around the Kaaba 7 times. You go for Sa'i, you need to go 7 cycles. There are 7 heavens. There are 7 heavens. There are 7 manzils of the Quran. For you to finish the Quran in 1 week, there are 7 manzils of the Quran. And in this gathering, I think I can see a minimum of 7 hufaz. Minimum of 7 hufaz in this gathering. And I think that is a means of blessing for every one of us in this gathering. We may God that through the nur of our Quran, Allah bless every one of our hearts, inshallah. Grant us all maghfirah. The Shaik very beautifully says regarding the shan of Imam Hoosen radiallahu ta'ala, he says, Khudi ne dil se poocha hai, pata ke kya Hoosen hai. He's asking himself, Khudi ne dil se poocha hai, pata ke kya Hoosen hai, dharak dharak ke bol utha, sada sada Hoosen hai. Shan ahle bayt dekh, sabhi ke sab misal hai, koi nahi Hoosen sa, Hoosen bas Hoosen hai. उमर से चल उमेर तक, बशर से चल बशीर तक, बड़े बड़े ये कह गए बहुत बड़ा हुसैन है. और अजब लड़ी है जंग भी हुसैन ने यजीद से, हो इससे बढ़कर जीत क्या यजीद था हुसैन है. Alhamdulillah, it is our aqidah that Sayyidina Imam al-Hussein radiallahu ta'ala is alive. The martyrs of Allah do not die, they are alive, and the Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah has every right to say Ya Hussein. We have every right to say Labbeek Ya Hussein. We have every right to say As-Salam Ya Hussein. Why? Because he is able to respond to our salam, because he is alive. And this particular masjid, I think that we have decided to spend these 10 nights reviving the narrative of Karbala and recounting the events that have transpired that led to the tragedy and the horrific scenes of Karbala, and to sum it in 2 lines in the words of Maulana Jalaluddin Rumi, rahmatullahi ta'ala alayhi. He says, the eyes of the blind have seen that scene. The eyes of the blind have seen that scene. So the first scene is S-E-N, and the second scene is S-C-E-N-E. The eyes of the blind have seen that scene. The ears of the deaf have heard that story. The ears of the deaf have heard that story. And indeed, I think where we left off last night was where Sayyidina Imam al-Hoosen radiallahu ta'ala reached the place known as Mount the Hasham, and where he came into contact with Hur ibn Yazid al-Tamimi rahmatullahi ta'ala alayhi. And just 2 points I want to add on before I start this particular narrative. One is, why did Sayyidina Imam Hoosen radiallahu ta'ala leave Makkah al-Mukarramah in the first place? Why did he leave Makkah al-Mukarramah? And it was just before the period of Hajj. This is now around the 3rd of Dhul Hijjah. Some narrations say it's the 4th of Dhul Hijjah. A few days before Hajj starts in Mina. And we have Muslims from the rest of the Muslim world at that time that is journeying towards Makkah. They are journeying towards Makkah to perform a Hajj, and here the mighty Imam, the great Imam, is not waiting for the days of Hajj, but he leaves Makkah al-Mukarramah. And from this we understand that to stand up against an oppressor or to stand up against a tyrant is even more important than fulfilling Hajj. And how do we know this? Because we follow the Ahlul Bayt of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And to sum it in one line, when oppression becomes law, resistance becomes duty. When oppression becomes law, resistance becomes duty, and we need to revive that lesson more than anything this Muharram, because we have an oppression that is now exceeded 9 months. We have an oppression in the Muslim world today that has exceeded 9 months. And we find that if we had followed upon the teachings of Sayyidina Imam Hoosen radiallahu ta'ala, then the righteous Muslim followers and leadership of the world by now would have stood up against the corrupt tyrant leaders of the world that are oppressing the people of Gaza. But what do? We will wait and make dua. Make dua and we'll carry on. This is what Muslims, the 21st century, this is what we have come to. Instead of standing up, it's the people that are making dua, but the leadership has left the Muslims. The leadership of the Muslim world has left them aside, and they are all protecting their own territories. That's the first point. The second point is there is a circle that till this day, when it comes towards the narrative of Karbala, the narrative, and when they understand the narrative of Karbala, this is what they teach to their audiences. They will tell you that Imam Hoosen radiallahu ta'ala was advised not to leave Makkah al-Mukarramah, and he was advised that the Yazidi administration wanted his blood, and he went against the council of senior Sahaba radiallahu ta'ala because he desired the leadership, because he desired Khilafah. And we'll ask one question. Imam Musa alayhi salam, did he defeat Pharaoh? He did. Imam Musa alayhi salam defeated Pharaoh. Pharaoh was swallowed by the ocean. But when Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam went to defeat Pharaoh, Pharaoh was who? He was the king. But when Pharaoh was swallowed, did Musa alayhi salam become the king? No. So Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam confronted Pharaoh not because he wanted to be the king. Imam Hoosen radiallahu ta'ala confronted Yazid not because he desired leadership. And if he, in those words of those who make these statements, if he so-called desired leadership, then he would have assumed the Khilafah for maybe a few months maybe a few years, maybe over 10 years. And then what? Then you have to return to the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But Jannah is eternal. Jannah is eternal. So to answer that particular objection, we will respond to them to advise them that why will a man who has been assured permanent leadership in Jannah, what is the maqam of Sayyidina Imam Hussein radiallahu anhu? He is Sayyid al-Shabab Ahl al-Jannah. He is the leader of the youth of Jannah. And you know something even more beautiful? Everyone from the Ummah, every person that will stand on the day of Qiyamah will be a youth. Because everyone will be the age of Sayyidina Isa al-Islam in Jannah. And the age of Sayyidina Isa al-Islam is the peak of one's youth. So not only will he be the leader of the youth in Jannah, he will be the leader of everyone in Jannah. So how will someone that has permanent leadership in Jannah desire the temporary leadership of this world? That is to answer as to why Imam Hussein went. Why did he go? He went to protect the Ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam from being governed by an individual that is now gone away from the established democracy of Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the established democracy of every leader before him. For if any leader before Yazid was corrupt, like Yazid was, then we would have seen a Karbala in that time as well. But we haven't seen an event like Karbala before the time of Yazid. Coming back to the narrative, Sayyidina Imam Hussein radiallahu anhu meets with Hur ibn Yazid at-Tamimi rahmatullahi ta'ala alayhi. And when the army of Hur arrived, he arrived with 1,000 people. He arrived with 1,000 people. His intention is what? To capture Imam Hussein radiallahu anhu, to take him to Ibn Ziyad. Sayyidina Imam Hussein radiallahu anhu, and this is the nature of the household of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He provided Hur ibn Yazid and his entire army with his horses, with whatever water they had. He had the water for his family and all of them that were there. But when he saw that the army of Yazid came, the army of Hur came, it was good midday and the soldiers and the horses were all thirsty. Sayyidina Imam Hussein radiallahu anhu provided them all with water. And when this happened, he found that Hur ibn Yazid was not hostile towards Imam Hussein radiallahu anhu. He already saw the character of the Ahlul Bayt of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. It was the time of Salat al-Dhuhr. So the Sayyidina Imam Hussein radiallahu anhu, after the azan of Salat al-Zuhr was given, he addressed the people. And I'll give you two quotations of Imam Hussein radiallahu anhu to the people at that time. So there were 1,000 people that came with Hur ibn Yazid. And these people came from where? From Kufa. So he's addressing the people of Kufa, who were the original people that sent letters to Imam Hussein to leave and to come to Kufa because they want to give bay'ah in his hand. He says, "O people, I defend myself before Allah and you people, because I did not come here until your letters reached me in which you invited me to come, as you did not have any imam and you thought that perhaps my arrival would be a source of guidance for the people of Kufa." And then he says, "If you are firm on your claims, then I am here to witness your loyalty. Therefore, make a promise to me so that I can be content. If this promise is fulfilled, then I can enter your city. If you are not pleased with my arrival, then I shall return to the city from where I have come." And he said that after the speech of Imam Hussein radiallahu anhu, if they were all silent, no one responded to the words of Imam Hussein radiallahu anhu. The entire 1,000 people of Kufa prayed the Salatul Zuhr and Salatul Asr behind Sayyidina Imam Hussein radiallahu anhu. After Salatul Asr, Sayyidina Imam Hussein radiallahu anhu gave another khutbah, and he says, "O people, if you feel fear Allah and recognize the people of truth, you shall gain the pleasure of Allah. Those who are governing you with oppression, we the Ahlul Bayt are more worthy of Khilafah in comparison to them. If you do not like me, do not recognize my rights, and your views are opposed to the views that you express in your letters, then I shall return. And at this point, Hoosen ibn Yazid acknowledges to Imam Hoosen that he had no knowledge of all of these letters from the people of Kufa that were sent and that brought Imam Hoosen out of Makkah to the people of Kufa. And we know that significant events happened at that time. And Imam Hoosen on the advice of Hoosen ibn Yazid, he left that particular mountain where he was and they began traveling. And Hoosen ibn Yazid joined the Qafila. He went with them. He carried on with them. Later on we'll see in the narrative that he even came and joined the army of Imam Hoosen and he was even martyred. This is the fate of one who came to capture Imam Hoosen and to take him to Ibn Ziyad, but when he spent time in the companionship of the mighty Imam, he made tawbah, he repented, he came in the camp of Imam Hoosen and he was even blessed with martyrdom. So until Qiyamah, he will be remembered, for he was the one who was on the side of Haqq with Imam Hoosen. It says thereafter, when the group of Imam Hoosen reached a place called Banu Muqatil, Imam Hoosen rested and he fell off to sleep. He rested, he fell off to sleep. And when he awoke suddenly, he recited, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Indeed, we belong to Allah and to Him we shall return, and all praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds. When Sayyidina Azeem heard these words, he came closer to his father and said that, "Oh my father, how do these words come out of your blessed mouth at this time?" Sayyidina Imam Hoosen stated that he had seen a dream in which a rider was saying that these people are traveling on the path while death is approaching them. Imam Hoosen explained how he thought he was being informed in the dream of forthcoming deaths. Sayyidina Azeem who is one of the male survivors of Karbala from the progeny of Imam Hoosen, he says, "May Allah preserve you from all calamities. Are we not on the truth?" Imam Hoosen is asking his father, Imam Hoosen, are we not on the truth? Imam Hoosen responded, "By the Lord to whom all have to return, we are on the truth." Imam Hoosen stated bravely, he says, "When we are on the truth, then we have no care or no fear for such a death." Imam Hoosen prayed for Imam Zain saying, "May Allah reward you with the goodness which a father can give to his child." Then they commenced the journey, they continued traveling, and they came to a place. As they traveled, it says that Imam Hoosen stopped. The soldiers of Hur stopped him and said that they should all stop there, as the Euphrates was not far from this place. Imam Hoosen asked, "What is this place called?" The people answered that this place is called Karbala. As soon as Imam Hoosen heard these words, he dismounted from his horse, came off his horse, and he said, "This is Karbala. This place is Karbala, the place of Karb and Bala." Karb is anguish, Bala is affliction or torment. This is the place where our rides shall sit, the place where our luggage shall be placed, and it is the place where our men will be martyred. The day that Imam Hoosen stopped at Karbala was a Thursday. The date was the 2nd of Muharram, 61 Hijri. conclude at this point, inshallah, and I'm sure your next speaker will take it forward from here tomorrow. My topic was to bring the point to the narrative where Imam Hoosen radiallahu anhu reached the place of Karbala. Initially, we know he set out to go to Kufa, but he stopped at Karbala and he never reached Kufa. If anything good has been achieved, the praise belongs to Allah, the faults belong to me. Astaghfirullah Rabbi min kulli dhanbi wa atubu ilayh wa ma alayna illa al-balagh al-mubin.